They can't
and
hear
welcome
us though
to a
because I'm doing the intro
SewSteady
bit.
online event. Please have all your tools and note-taking capabilities ready. Your event begins in less than 3 minutes.
Hi everyone, it's Stacy with SewSteady, and I've got Jana here from SewSteady. We were at Road to California 2 weeks ago, so we were able to have Kathy join you live to be able to share with you some amazing education, which we really, really appreciate. If any of you were at Road to California, it was awesome to meet you and have you come and have some fun in the booth. I know I felt like we had a lot of fun.
Oh, we had a lot of
fun. One thing you guys probably know about me by now is that I love to give things away, and I love everybody to get amazing deals. So that was definitely the theme of the booth. But my amazing organizer friend here, Jana, has some really great ways that we're going to improve our booth for our future shows. So excited to be able to have you join us at another show soon.
Yeah, fun.
So today we're going to carry on with the project that we started a couple of weeks ago, and that was our adorable winter landscape organizer project. So this is just an example of what we put together initially. And so Jana has got the embroidery machine all queued up to be able to kind of reload those designs into it. We're going to be just creating the background right now, finishing that. And then we're going to go ahead and move over to creating and I'll be working on creating the organizer folder sections. And then we'll pull it all together, do a little bit of freestanding lace. So we're gonna hope to finish tonight. It might end up taking us into one last class where we finish it with some binding and potentially adding some of the applique as well. So excited to have you join us again. We did go ahead and get this added on the Sew Steady University, so you can access the supplies that we have at no cost to you. So just go in there and look under Stacy or the Winter Landscape Project, and you can access our class supplies, which includes the backing and the batting amount of fabric, and of course the folder sections and so on. So we'll do a little recap as well. So Jana is using an embroidery machine for the second time ever. And she's already said that first thing she's going to do is make sure she doesn't have any fabric underneath the embroidery hoop. Okay, so I'll jump over there. First, we're going to go ahead and take you over to our Sew Steady page we created today. So any stars that are out there, we are going to go ahead and start taking deposits for our Sew Steady Stars Retreat, which is happening here July 7th to the 11th in Eugene, Oregon. We've got a really fun agenda for it. So I'm going to pull up that page and give you a little bit of light browsing options while we get situated. So let's go ahead and move over to that, and then we'll move the camera. All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I see Linda from Michigan and Linda from New York. It was super fun. I actually got to see some of our super fans last week that were in California. So Joyce Runyon, Jody Runyon, who has been in our calendar and just been a huge participant and stuff. She was able to help us in the booth on Sunday, which I absolutely loved. And then we had, there we go. Yeah, we'll bring it a little bit lower there. And then we were able to have Edwina O in there and Sharon Tong. So some really amazing quilters and Westerly community members that were able to come by the booth, and I love that. We have some really fun shows that we're going to be coming up. Kate's going to be at the AQS show in Florida if you're there. Donnell, Kate, and I are all going to be at the OSQE show in Florida, in Maitland, Florida in March. And then we're also going to be in Chicago in May. So all kinds of fun things coming up. Oh, there's Edwina. So really, really fun to see all of you, and thank you guys so much for joining. Okay, so this is our Stars Retreat information. It is on our Sew Steady website right now, and you can learn a lot more about it on our blog page as well. But yeah, go ahead and take a look at that. I'll post a link to that here in a little bit too. So heading over to the first things first, we're going to go ahead and continue on with doing the embroidery on the background. And so Jana, I think we started with a couple different sizes so we could squeeze as much onto the into the hoop as possible. And so this is one of my favorite things when I'm doing embroidery hooping is I want to be able to I want to have it all, like I want to hoop the minimum amount of times. Yeah. So if I'm going to be finishing a project with embroidery first, and then filling in with ruler work, I want to maximize my efficiency of my hoop time. Yep. So I think let's go ahead and start with maybe an 8-inch design and see what that looks like. And then we'll fill in with maybe a 6 and a 4. Okay. So I'll let you go ahead and kind of pick based on what you see right now, which designs we want to start with.
Let's do this one.
Okay.
And okay, so that one, since we used it in the upper part.
Perfect.
And then,
and can you all see the screen okay there? I think there she goes. So we're going to go ahead and set this one on there first. Okay. And so when we set that on there, what we want to go ahead and do is we kind of want to move it around a little bit. Yeah. So we want to make sure it has the correct hoop, and it does show the biggest hoop. So that's good. So this is actually a pretty good size design. So the next thing that we can do is we can go ahead and see what this is going to look like. If we were to embroider it. So what we see right now, and I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit closer, but this is If you don't have a fancy machine that has a camera that's going to actually get you in there, then this is the next best thing. So I'm going to get you a little bit closer. And this is going to show you where the design is going to start. And so this is the middle of the design right now. That means, now I'm going to go back to my screen here and I'm going to show you. That means that if I want to see where the top of the design is going to be, I need to go forward a few stitches. So you can see that on the screen right here. So I'm going to go forward 100 stitches, and that's going to show me that that's now way out there. That's up there. I need to figure out where the tallest point is and make sure that I'm not going to be running over any existing designs. So right now that's starting a little bit high because now we can tell that we are running into an existing design there. So I'm just going to bring this down a little bit. And if this is kind of old news to some of you, I apologize, but I do think that this isn't necessarily something that everyone knows. So we want to be able to kind of help with some knowledge stuff on how to see where your embroidery design is going to be, because not all embroidery machines are created equal, guys. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing here because I am kind of eyeballing this. And we could also do this with the grid. We do have the grids for these, so we could do this with the grid. And the grid would also help us identify where it would start. But we're getting so close. So we're right up there again, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to come a little bit lower. So we're going to go to return and bring it down just a little bit further and do our plus minus. Okay, where are we at now? It's so interesting how it jumps around in the embroidery.
That's right on the edge.
It's right on the edge. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm just going to reduce the size of this a little bit. And again, another perk of embroidery is that you can actually adjust the sizing to be able to work for you. So I just brought it down a few notches. Now, if I do the embroidery, I can do this again and see where it's going to land. Okay, we're up here again. And
so right on the edge.
Right on the edge. All right, so I think we're gonna make that work. I'm gonna just do a little bit more editing. I'm gonna just edit the size of it down one more notch. There we go. And now I feel pretty confident that we can make that work. Okay, so now let's add one more design. So to add the design, I'm gonna go ahead and do just go ahead and use my USB stick or my USB symbol on my machine, go back to all of my designs. And now I will let you go ahead and start choosing the next design.
All right.
And I'm getting set up to do some ruler work that we're gonna show you guys next. All right. So, sorry. Okay. That's Benny. Benny likes to be my biggest protector. He's a miniature Bernie Doodle, but you'd think he was like a ginormous dog. Yes. Because he loves to protect me and, share his worries. So did you go with a 4-inch?
I haven't yet.
Okay, no. Let's go ahead. Which one do you want to pick?
Let's see. We already did that design, so I kind of want to stay with some of the ones we've already done.
You want to go with this one?
Yeah, let's do it.
So that's a 4-inch. So let's go ahead and set that into here. And now we're just going to bring it down here.
Perfect.
And that will work.
I like it.
All right. So we've got all kinds of room down here, right?
Yep.
No problem.
No problem.
So, and then we've got more room up here. Was there any concern with the embroidery to the right on this one? Do you know?
I don't know.
Let's go embroidery and just check that. I don't think that there was, to be honest, because that would have come up when we were over here. No, I think we're good.
Yeah.
Okay. Over there.
Yeah. I mean,
at the very top.
Right but it doesn't look
Okay,
like it
cool.
will hit.
All right, so we'll go back to return. We've got edit. Let's add one more. What do you think?
Let's do it.
All right, one more. And so again, we're going to go to the USB stick. We're going to scroll down. We're going to select PES. And then I will let you scroll and find it.
Yeah.
Okay. Got that first one done.
Should I do another 4-inch?
I think so. I don't think we can fit anything else. We will adjust the size a little bit though, because I don't want it to look identical.
Yeah.
Since they'll be like right next to each other.
Yeah.
I think that it's important to kind of make them look like they're more like free moving snowflakes. That's the goal.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe
The dogs are saying hi. I hope your dogs responded to my dog. Wouldn't that be fun if our dogs could communicate? On your show? It's like when you get all the dogs in the neighborhood barking at each other.
okay, let's do this one.
Okay, perfect. So let's see what that one looks like. Oh yeah, I love that one.
That one? Okay.
So if
hit
anybody's
set.
questioning, that is our Spinifex Snowflake number 10. That's in the Elevate quilt box, and that is one of the designs that it makes.
Do I get set?
Actually, it's combined with Spinifex number 9, so that's a combo one. Hit set. Yep.
Okay.
And then we're going to move that one with our finger over here. And so we'll just kind of put it, oop. Okay. So then that kind of goes in that corner. That kind of goes in that corner. And if you wanted to just turn it a little bit too, you could go to edit and just hit rotate. And that will kind of give it a little bit of a different look. So maybe we want to rotate it so it kind of doesn't compete as much.
I like it.
I like that one too.
Yep.
Okay. So now we're going to say, okay, we're going to say embroider and we're good to go. So I will let you go ahead and drop the foot. So that's the next step. You're going to hit the foot down and then the thread, yep, it's
it looks
threaded. Yep. Go ahead and pull out the thread a little bit just so we don't have a worry of it like coming undone. So just kind of pull on it a little bit through that needle.
Alrighty, there we go.
Okay. And we've got our silver thread. I know the silver's in the bobbin.
Yep.
I did a little project last night. Go ahead and hit start.
Alrighty.
Okay. So while that's going, I've got my ruler foot on. I'm ready to do a little ruler quilting over here, guys. So hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm going to try to switch cameras today without having to, well, actually what I'll do is I'll just move this camera. So I'm going to give you guys a little light reading material as I move the camera. I decided that you don't want to have to watch me with this every time. Okay. So I think the camera's in the right spot now. So Jana, would you mind clicking on the button right there so they can watch me instead of the,
Which one?
it's the one on the left.
This one?
Yeah. Go ahead and click at the top.
Right here.
Yep. Solo layout. There you go.
There we go.
All right. And Jana, I'll have you, just make sure this doesn't move too much. Perfect. All right. So I've got my, I've got everything in here. Got this ready to thread. So I'm going to drop the foot and thread the needle. And voila, we are ready to roll. So last time I used my Curly Q template, I've already prepared this one. So we've got that ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and just do some more of this Curly Q to kind of give it that fun little wind look. And so let's go ahead and get started with that. Okay. And drop the foot. And I'm going to stop for a second. This is definitely not in the right mode. And I'm going to loosen up my foot. So a couple things that we just did there is I didn't choose straight stitch. I dropped my feed dogs, but I still had it in zigzag stitch for some reason. So I just went ahead and changed that to straight stitch because when you're doing ruler work, you always want it in straight stitch mode if your machine doesn't put it into, ruler quilting mode for you, like some of the fancy machines out there. Feed dogs are dropped though. So let's go ahead and start now. Okay, the other problem that I have is that it's to the far left. So I'm going to pull my needle up. Okay, now it's in the right location. See, we're just going to like keep learning as we go here. Okay, so if your foot is not in the right position, then you can do left-right adjustments really easily, but you definitely need your foot in the center. All right, so now Jana, drop the foot again.
All right.
And then go ahead and hit start. All right, so now that I'm getting the feel for this, I think I'm going to go a little bit faster. And let's go ahead and dial this up a little bit, huh? All right, so I'm just adding a little wind and get into normal ruler work positioning here. And this is the Curlicue template. So I did go ahead and honor the deal of the day today. So if you don't have Curlicues, these are super fun templates to have. They just make really fun kind of wind designs, which is what we're doing right now. And they just give wind or waves. So think about like in a typical landscape quilt, what would be really cool to decorate with. And I think wind and waves are both kind of in that category of things that I would want to decorate with if I'm wanting to create a little bit of elements. And these Curlicues do that amazing. So what you're going to see on the cover, oh yeah, we can move that. That's just my the sewing machine foot box for the baby lock. You can just move it down below since it's going to be in the way of the hoop. There we go. And all right. Perfect. And here we go. So we're just creating right now, finishing up our little sections. And so I think on this one, I'm just going to do 2 sections of wind, and then I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next. So total sections for this project, I'm going to have 3 total sections. And those sections I will then sew together before I actually put them onto my project. So another thing to take note of is as you're kind of planning where you're going to put this template, if it's not like a spinning design, but you want it to, kind of do like what we're doing here, which is kind of create that wind look. One thing to note is that you're always going to be a 1/4 inch away from any given point on your stitch line. So as I'm looking at it and I don't want it to go over that previous stitch line, I know that my needle, even though my template looks like it's going to hit that stitch line, my needle is actually a 1/4 inch away. So I'm going to be fine. All right. So finishing this up, let me see if I can get you a little bit closer here. And Jana, you're ready to do your next round. So I'm going to have you do some hooping.
Yep.
And then we'll go over and you just repeat what we just did. We might move some stuff around. So we'll take a look when you get back over there.
Right.
And oops, sorry, my camera moved there.
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
Good.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at this. So I was able to go ahead and get my Curlicues onto the fabric. You can kind of see those waves. And I got that template off, so I'm going to cut that. So what I did is I created this section and this section so far. And I'm going to do one more section that I'm going to make blue because I think that's going to be cute. So I've already done the cutaway. So if you weren't with us this last week, in our first video that we did a couple weeks ago, we actually showed you how we create the cutaway. And that's where we basically take, actually did on all of these. That's where we take and we sew with the fabric, the batting on the bottom. And then we create the top edge with the wave ruler. And so now I'm just finishing these. So if you want to see how I created these sections, go back to the Winter Landscape Quilt Project video 1, and you will see how I did that part. All right, so just like I said, we're just finishing some decor, some decorating on these with some waves, and then we will go ahead and sew these together, and then we will sew them onto the background that Jen is finishing. And then we'll create a little bit of freestanding lace to add to the project. And then finally, we'll bind it all together. And I'm actually going to use the Bound to Fit tool, which is, if you haven't used it before, it's absolutely amazing. And I am actually using my Start Stop button. I've been doing that more and more lately. And let me tell you why it started. I did some classes on Janomi's new stitch regulator, and then I have a Janomi M17 at the office, and it has that amazing ruler work stitch regulator in it. And it only goes when you're moving. And it's actually a lot easier to use. And if there's any Janomi customers out there, it's a lot easier to use without the foot pedal, I found. So I have been kind of going into using the start stop function instead of a foot pedal for doing ruler quilting, which it works. It's just kind of a different way of doing it. I always thought it was a little bit more challenging before, but now that I'm kind of getting used to it, it's not bad. Okay. You got it all bound. You're doing great. So the other thing that I'm going to point out that Jana did really good is that she's not just going to the next section. She's overlaying the embroidery designs a little bit each time. And that's important because what you want to do is you want to be able to, oops, I'm just going to keep going here. Let me get you a little bit closer. So let me head over and show you where Jana's at right now. And, oh, there's me. Hi, guys. All right, so let's take a look at what we have on the screen, and then we will see if we need to change anything. All right, so Jana's got that all rolled up. Good job. That's perfect. Okay, excellent. And then on the screen, it says we finished embroidery, but we still have all 3 designs on here. So let me show you those in a little better way. Perfect. You can see all 3 designs there. Okay, so now what we want to do is kind of what we did before, but what I'm seeing already is that we've got a whole bunch of open space at the top. Right. So we want to fill that in now. So I am going to, and furthermore, we kind of want to move things around a little bit. We don't want the same designs to be on the same side. So I'm going to go ahead and start by returning to there, and I'm going to move that up here. I'm going to move that down here, and I'm going to move that. And I might even put that more in the middle and move that maybe down, or kind of get things worked around a little bit, just so it's different. And then the other thing that we can do is we could go ahead and, well, we might just move this down here. What do you think? Yeah. I'll let you have creative say here with me. We could make this one a little bit bigger now that we have so much space. Yeah, that's a good idea. So let's go ahead and size that up. All right. And perfect. So that's sized up. We'll do that a little bit more center, because especially since there's some stuff going over here on the left, on the right. Yeah, because there is in here, so that might have to. So that will come over a little, probably. Yeah. Whoa, what did I just do? That's okay. Actually, that might work. Oh, I was making it weird. All right, I don't know. There's not an undo on here. There's not a Control Z on here. And I think I may have just like squeezed the design in a little bit, and then I squeezed it out a little bit. So, I mean, I think it looks fine, and I don't think it's going to be a problem. So I think let's just go with it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hit embroidery, and we're going to see where things are going to lie and just make sure we're okay with everything and where it's touching. So this is
not the furthest point. Let's go back 100. Oh, see, I thought that would go all the way in. Oh, there it is. Okay, so are we touching over there? We're touching. We got to make that
Okay.
smaller maybe.
Or can we move it over? Return and then click that and move it over more. Okay. And then let's go ahead and hit. And where are we at now?
We're right on it.
Are we right on it?
Like we're not touching it, but it's right.
Well, there we will be in a second when I
Yeah.
go around the circle
Yeah,
there.
it kind of butts up to it. It might. I think if we just shrunk it just a tad.
Okay, let's shrink it a little. All right,
We're gonna-
so do you remember how to shrink it?
What was it?
Size. So we're going to click size, and then we're just going to go ahead and do that one that has the arrows going in. And it doesn't seem to be. Interesting. Okay. Won't let me resize that at all.
Weird.
Oh, it'll let me make it bigger. It will not let me make it smaller. All right, so let's go ahead and test this one more time. Embroider. And if we have to, we will put this into a different, oh. All right, so we're at the top.
It's right. So it's not touching it.
Oh, it's not.
No, I think we're.
It's kind of in the perfect spot
I
there.
think we're good.
Okay. Is it still in the perfect spot?
It might.
You know what?
slightly
I can
touch, but-
actually we can rotate it.
Oh, that's a good
So
idea.
let's rotate it a little. So we're just going to rotate it a degree. And actually, I think we wanted to rotate it this degree.
Yeah.
Up. How's that?
Yeah, I think that's better.
Is that better? One more maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. And see, this is why embroidery can take a little bit of time.
Yeah.
As much as we think, oh, it's going to be super fast, we're going to have all these designs whipped out, really quickly. Getting that perfect placement is kind of more of the task than obviously doing the ruler quilting designs. Actually, I think I'm going to go back. Kind of remembered where I was apparently. Oh. Okay. Oh, this must be because I rotated. There. Now where?
Okay, we're right next to it there. But it doesn't touch it right there.
It didn't touch. Okay, we're good.
Okay.
Everything else is good to go? Or should we go on to the next design and see?
The only one I'm concerned about is we might want to check the middle one.
Okay. Do 1,000.
Yeah, it's
The middle one's
yeah,
definitely
we just
going to get in
need to
it.
Move it over a little.
Okay, so we're going to go return and click that. And then I don't know what happened last time, but it would, let's see if we can size it down a little bit. Okay. And then I think I'm going to size it in because it got a little squatty
I
there.
think we'll be good. Oh, yeah. It looks that better.
That looks more normal. All right, here we go. And see if that's good. Okay, so 1,000, 100, 100. That's our worry spot. And
Okay. Well, it's kind of touching.
is it
We
touching?
need to just come over a little more.
Okay. All right. There. That's kind of close to touching. Okay.
Okay.
I think we're good, guys.
Okay.
All right. Drop the foot. Make it happen.
I will.
All right. So again, heading back over so you don't have to see the camera transition. I'm going to try to get you a little bit closer there to the ruler quilting because that's always fun to see. And Jana, would you mind trying to press that for me?
Just
want to press the,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right there. Okay, here we go, guys. More ruler quilting. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start by going this direction now. And I'm going to stop there. And then I'm just moving the template up. It's that easy. All right. And then on this template, I do like to follow just one edge. So I always follow the top edge and then stop there. This is a little different material too. So this is, this material is kind of more of a flannel. I bought it for a baby quilt that I'm making. So what I love using different textures in projects. I think it just adds kind of a fun little element. I don't know if you noticed, but that last landscape project that I was holding up earlier has really, really, really hairy fabric. Fabric that was like getting all over everything hairy. You're not going to be able to give that to a baby though, because that could get dangerous.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that'd be cute. No, they can't be ingesting your very hairy fabric that wants to get everywhere. Funny story is we've kind of have some family jokes with, when you're working with family, you get to do things that can sometimes maybe irritate them a little. And speaking of things that people don't like, my dad is kind of a clean freak and he really doesn't like things that get messy. And we used to pack a lot of our boxes with these peanuts and they're not environmentally safe. So, I think that was a good enough reason to get rid of them. But my dad, and then I wanted to note that this is getting towards the end and I want to end with a cute little curly Q. So I'm just going to kind of start in the middle of the curly Q and do a little bit shorter one at the end. And, I could have kind of created a little bit more of, the elements by not doing the same size of curly Q all the way across, like I did there. I could have created a little bit more kind of, uniqueness to the designs had I done it that way, but that's okay. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and get these sewn together. Now I've got my 3 edges, and my goal when I sew these together is I kind of want to make it so you don't necessarily see the sew lines, because I think that will be a little bit cuter if you don't have to see them. So I'm probably going to strategically place my applique pieces where I sew these together. So that's just a thought. And that will be something that I can hide after the fact. All right, so I've got a little buildup there on the end. Got that cut away. So let's go ahead and see what this is going to lay out like. So I think what I want to do is I want to go ahead and start with the blue in the background. Now that is not as fun. I think I might actually transition the blue towards the bottom because, and I'll show you guys this in a little better way so you can see it all. You can help me. Tell me, where do you guys want to, should I put the blue on the bottom knowing that I've got a lot of blue up top? And I don't really love this ridge. I think that this is kind of like the valley. And so, if you look at a traditional like project, you tip it, or, landscape, I guess, the valley's usually at the bottom, right? Yeah. The flat land at the bottom. So I think because this is the flatland piece, I'm going to go ahead and put that at the bottom. Then I'm going to build up, and then I'm going to have this kind of more Rocky Mountain look because this texture is, you can't really see it on screen, but this texture is a little bit more Rocky Mountain-ish. I'm going to have that at the top. So this is like pure snow. This is like Rocky Mountain snow. And this is just the ice skating rink at the bottom of the hill. All right, so let's go ahead. And again, kind of as we're planning here where we're going to put our sections, I'm going to plan to put my tree and my snowflake, my snowman, not my snowflake,
are going to be kind of covering up my sections that I'm sewing together here. So, all right. So let's go ahead. You've got one more section to hook up. Or are you done?
No, we're done, I think.
All right. So let's take a quick look at that because I want to lay this out on it. So again, I'm going to switch our camera angle. Whoopsies. Because I want to see how these sections line up on here. So giving you guys a little bit more reading material. That is back on there, and then I will switch the camera over to this section so we can lay this out well. So all right, we're back, guys. Sorry about that. Of course, the camera decided to have a moment. All right, so here's what I want to show you.
Wants to flop, but I'll hold it.
Okay. So this is going to be our layout. So the next question that we could pose to ourselves is, do we want to, because I'm going to have this folded over here. Do we want to, because these are my sections, and perfect. And then this is going to fold in, and this is going to create our binding. So everything should be bound in there. This piece feels a little short.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know that I can use that piece. Good thing I have one more. I have this piece.
Oh, good.
That looks like is equally short. So that being said, we just need everything to come in to be able to accommodate that piece. And that should work okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just needed to make sure that this was centered. So I'm going to go ahead and put pins in this now so I know what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead.
Do you want me to unpin right here?
Oh, no, not there. Okay. I'm actually pinning just these layers because I want to go ahead and keep them together as I create my sections. So I'm thinking what I want to do is I need to go ahead and obviously sew a bottom to these. So I need to go ahead and sew in a very bottom edge to this. So, and then obviously the bottom needs to touch this bottom right here. So I will go ahead and maybe raise this a little bit higher. So that's not a problem. Sorry, Benny is saying goodbye. So my dog has adopted a very strange habit, and that is that he gets real aggressive when people leave. Not when they come, real friendly when you get here. But if you try to leave without saying goodbye to him, he is going to let you know. Not okay. It's like he's like the manners dog. Have manners, say goodbye. Okay, so I think that I want to do, so right now what I know is that I'm going to sew a line at the very bottom of this. That's going to be hidden, so nobody's going to see that. Yep. And then I'm going to go ahead and create my sections from there. So right now I've got these two sections. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just sew a line down here, sew a line down here, and then I will create two equal sections in the middle for these two. And so I think maybe I'll just sew one line down the middle then.
Yeah.
Because then we'll have that. And so it'll have two equal sections right there.
Yeah.
And then when we attach it to this one, we'll start with the next process. So we're going to start by just sewing these two together. Okay, so let me go ahead and wait to move that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to avoid giving you guys a bunch of stir. So let's go ahead and share my screen and give you the light reading material. All right, so I hope a lot of you guys got our email today, but we shared obviously what we have going on this week. We shared our Sew City Stars retreat, and we shared our whoops, here we go. All right. And we shared our National Quilting Month giveaway, which if you haven't signed up for that yet, you can sign up for it every day, and there's bonus opportunities for signing up. So here we go. Perfect. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do what we talked about. Now, right now, I just have my standard ruler foot on. I think I am going to go ahead and switch this over to, because I want to use my Sew Straight guide. Love this. Oh, this is tilted. All right. And perfect. Okay, Jana, so I will go ahead and have you start with the freestanding lace. So I will have you put that in, and we can start our first freestanding lace project. And so you can go ahead and grab the hoop. Yep, that's perfect. Thank you. Excellent. And we've got that ruler quilting done. We're going to create our sections. And I'm using my Circles and Straights tool to go ahead and just create my guide. So I just put it on the outside of the foot. And I think what I'm going to do, because I definitely want to make sure that I get, that I am on that seam, I'm going to go ahead and stitch it this way so I can see the top. And then I'm going to move the needle position all the way to the left. And you know what? I'm going to move this out a little bit because it's looking like I need to. All right. So we'll drop the foot, and looks like my thread came undone. All right. So in order to choose that, go ahead and say okay, and say okay, and then go to return. And then you can go ahead and just either delete those designs. Yep. Say okay. You probably have to do them individually. Yeah. I think you can group delete them or just start fresh by going up to home and coming back. Okay. But that works.
Freeze.
And all right. So
is it on the USB then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Is it under the same file? The PES or no?
Yeah, go to PES and then scroll down. All right. There we go. Okay, now we're all ready. And drop that. Here we go. I know what's going on. My feed dogs were still down, guys. That's what happens. It won't go anywhere. You're in free motion mode and you're not moving it. All right, we're just flying. Okay. And I'm going to go back. All right. And there we go. And we're going to create our edges here. And cut that. And then we'll do the same thing over here. And
Which I don't know what ones are the designs.
all right, well, why don't I have you do this then, Jana? Would you check and see if we have any questions?
Let's see.
And we probably will have to wrap up the embroidery or the freestanding lace while we do our binding next week, because that's kind of something that we'll add in at that same time.
What was that?
I'll wrap up the freestanding lace while we do our binding again on our next live. So now I'm going to go ahead and add my little design here. So one option that I could do is I could do a decorative stitch, which could be kind of fun because then it's like a way to add in a little extra element. So my decorative stitch on this, I could go ahead and do maybe just a little extra. Let's go ahead and go with just something like this. And then I might add one to the other side too. Kind of adds a little fun to it. All right. And the other thing with decorative stitches is it makes everything really secure. So I just added a little decorative stitch down the middle there. I think that looks a little cuter than just a straight line. And so now let's go ahead and do our other side. I'm just going to bring that over here. And so now that we've created essentially these two pockets right here, you can see I've got two pockets that I can put tools into. And those are pretty big pockets, but you know what? Guess what they're going to hold? This ruler will fit right there.
Ooh,
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is one of our Sew Steady rulers. Let's see if I can fit this ruler in. This ruler, oh yeah, that kind of fits.
Yeah.
That's perfect. So that ruler holder, guys. Okay. So then the next thing, and those are our wave rulers. That's how we use what we use to create this. So the next thing that I want to do is I've got to center this because it's kind of centered on the project. And I will go ahead and do that. All right. So one thing that I noticed, and I think I can fix this really quick before we go on, is I noticed I just felt like I was missing a little wind, but I have been guilty. I'm just going to admit it. I have been guilty in the past of over coloring. And there could be a thing with over quilting too, maybe, guys. All right, so we have officially got our two pockets in, and we're gonna do our third pocket in a minute, but I just wanted to get one last curly Q in here so I could do a little over quilting. So here, let's go ahead and get this in, put it down, and oh, stop. Okay, so guess what I just did? I just added a little fun extra design, which I didn't intend to do, but I need to get back out of my decorative stitches and just get into normal stitch mode. So let's get on here and go into utility stitch. Okay, good. Needle up. All right, there we go. So we're going to do straight stitch. Okay, now we can start. Foot down. All right. This is way too fast. Don't recommend this at home. Go a little slower when you do ruler work, guys. As Leonie likes to tell us, this is a leisure sport. You do not need to go that fast. And guess what else I'm doing? I'm just connecting it. And we are there. All right. So now I just added a little extra right there because I felt like it needed it. And I will add a little extra right here because I'm over coloring. And that's what I do. And needle down. All right. So that's the other thing. And so I'm kind of doing this and I'm doing it like with a little bit of stuff in my way. So, but you know, as you're kind of seeing your project and you want to make sure everything is working, this is a good way to do it. All right. And so I've done some over coloring now. Here we go. And I think we'll leave it at that. So now I'm going to go ahead and sew this to this. So I've got my bottom to my middle. And now I want to go ahead and secure. I'm going to have everything kind of bind into here. So now I will go ahead and just secure this part. And then I need to go ahead and sew this to this. So let's go ahead and see how we can do this in a way that is going to not come up. What I might do is I might end up, there we go. All right. I might end up putting those at the top. We might have our glacier in the middle.
Yeah, I actually like that.
Just realizing that that can be covered up now. And then I can sew that all at the bottom. So I think we're going to have our glacier in the middle, guys. And that being said, with glacier in the middle, this is kind of my biggest piece here. Let's go ahead and create a bit of a pocket like so. So if I add that in right there, let's see what this will look like on the end. So, and then everything will come down. So right now it's locked in right there. Oh, and then this would become a third pocket basically, which would work, but it's again kind of a shallow pocket. And it's the same ending as the last one. Is that what we want? I think we'll go back to this idea. Go here, and the pocket for this one will end right about here. All right, so let's go ahead and put this in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and because I want to create a little bit of a pocket for these two, this first section too. And I want it to be able to end at the same point. So I think since I want everything to stay hidden, and this is my biggest section, I think I'm going to have to go ahead and just add one more line right about here.
Yeah. Which
will work. And then I will have 3 sections, which will create basically 4 pockets. That's not bad. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that down, and we're going to go into straight stitch free motion mode. So I could use, as an option here, I could use a Sashley ruler. That's a great ruler. I could use a straight ruler. Stop that. It's kind of getting a little bit bunched up there. This is a good straight ruler. I could use this to just come down the line with. So anytime you're doing straight ruler work, just having something, a straight edge right next to you makes it really, really easy. All right, so got that. And then same thing, creating that straight line. Okay, cut that. And then over here, our straight line. All right. And then on this one, we'll do the same thing where we kind of have that all in there. So now we've got our sections ready. So now we can go ahead and get this attached to our project.
Yay.
All right, so let's go ahead and bring that over. I think we've got a few more minutes, so we'll get that attached to this project right now. And then we'll finish with our decorating and binding on the next.
Are you bringing it
Oh,
over here?
yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys, make me dizzy.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Okay,
Good?
got that?
Yeah.
We make sure it doesn't fall. It looks like it's about to fall.
Oh,
Right
nice.
there.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so here's our full background. So I think that looks really good, Jana.
Yeah, I think it looks really good. I love it.
And I was doing some ruler quilting at the show on this, and I can't even tell now, guys, which ones are the ruler quilting and which ones are the which ones are embroidery. Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
That'll be like a test for all of you. Can you tell which ones I did with rulers and which ones I did with embroidery?
I cannot. Because you had to fix where we got bunched up on the
Yep.
embroidery and you can't even
And I did it with rulers.
Good job.
So exciting. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm just trying to pick which side I want to have at the top. And my original plan when I was doing this was that I would just hide the section that wasn't going to work. But now, since that's not necessarily required, I could just get away with this. All right, and that's perfect. Okay, I've got my little embroidery there that I'm going to go ahead and lock in. So what I'm trying to do is just line everything up so we have it right where we want it. And we do have an extra pin here, so now I can pin this down. Okay, so got that in. And one more pin. And actually,
You got one?
I got to center it a little bit more because this was not coming in all the way on either side. There we go. All right. So I'll take that and I'll take this. All right. And then we'll lift that up. And so now with me attaching these to the project, I'm going to go ahead and just put this down right over here on the edge. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and loosen my foot a little bit because I do know that I've got a lot of layers now. And so I'm going to go ahead and go into mode. Stop. I just want to kind of get up on this hump. Okay. So one thing that I remember watching a long time ago from Leonie, which I thought was really empowering, is the concept that you actually don't even need a ruler foot to ruler quilt. Well, you don't even need a ruler foot or any foot to sew. You can sew with just a needle. Isn't that interesting? So your machine will thread and it will sew with just the needle. The foot is just like this kind of added guidance, if you will. But I had no idea. I mean, you kind of assume that you can't sew without a foot on, and that's simply not the case. You can sew without a foot on. And that's why, the reason why you want to be careful with a loose foot is just because you don't want it to do something bad, like move and damage the machine. So But whenever you get started, definitely slow your machine down. Start with a little bit of a loose foot just to make sure you can adjust to the height. That's always super helpful. And it's something we recommend to most people that are kind of getting started for the first time, because you wouldn't believe how many times you get that question of, my fabric won't move, it's so tight. And it's really more that you just have, you have tightened that foot on before you've realized really what true height you want and need on that machine. All right, I'm gonna speed it up a little bit. Coming down here. All right, looks like the machine's telling me that we're about out of battery today, guys. So that means that we've got to finish this up. I'm just gonna try to, we close that window that says low battery, and then we can hopefully sign off before it dies on us. There we go. All right, perfect. And we'll add one more line here, and then we will have the construction of the overall project done today. And then we'll finish the decorating and the binding on our final show. All right, so you can see there, we've got our hills, our valleys, which I absolutely love. Isn't that adorable? And this is actually created, just so you're aware, we now have currently two main pockets. We've got one giant pocket here and one giant pocket here. So we actually have several pockets to choose from. So we will go ahead and get back to you guys on our next Even Monday. And we will get this finished up with some freestanding lace designs, as well as more fun. So what thread are you using? So I'm actually using an 80 weight polyester thread is what we recommend, or a 40 with an 80-12 needle, 40 weight polyester with an 80-12 needle. But it is 100% polyester glide thread. I love it. It has basically been a thread that has always come through for me without any issue. And I see some of our animal comments there. I love it. So definitely recommend that thread. Do we have any other questions that we want to answer before we sign off tonight? Let's see here. So good to see all of you guys on here tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And yes, I agree. Always greet the dog before you come in. And let's see here. Okay. Yeah, excellent. Well, thank you all so much for joining us tonight. We will plan on getting back on here in a couple weeks and finishing this project up. So I hope you're sewing along and quilting a fun little winter organizer project with us, where you can take advantage of some of those fun things that we put in your box this time, including those applique pieces and, of course, our freestanding lace. So again, we'll see you all soon. Thank you so much and have a good evening. Let's go ahead and
I won't be here. I'll be on a cruise.
You will. Good for you.
Well,
Okay, now, who is looking for a full winter quilting experience? This Winter Elevate Quilt Box is available now through March 18th, with options starting at just $75 through our club stores, or $99 to try it. Each box includes over $400 with tools, fabric, thread, and guided projects, with everything you need to stay inspired all season long. It's the perfect way to learn, to quilt, and to grow in your quilting experience this winter.